Because basically our body is held up by these stretchy lines of fascia that run from head to toe.
Right.
So what yoga line is about is like keeping the spine in natural alignment and then balancing.
Makes me want to sit up straight right away by talking about it.
And then balancing these fascia lines so that, but it's not about trying to make the body go into positions so much. It's like we use the breathing process to open the fascia lines from the inside out. For instance, we free all the ribs first. Like the first part of the class, we just spend working with self-massage, releasing tension from the body, and becoming aligned with the feeling of effortlessness in the body. And then we begin to move and breathe from the very center of the body, because a lot of yoga poses, for instance, have you doing things like, let's reach up and do this while we're lifting our chin. And for most people, it makes them move from here. And you can't get into the positions that I'm trying to help you do, which is draw to the center, radiate and breathe from the center. So it's very different.
It is, and I know that you use this for yoga therapy as well, to help people get back into alignment, to help heal different issues, to work on physical disabilities as well, don't you?
95% of the pain in the body comes from misalignment. So when you train the nervous system to engage movement pattern and breathing in natural alignment, most pain goes away. The body will heal.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what kind of successes have you had in your practice? Give us an example.
I've had people with, say, chronic fatigue. A woman that suffered for 7 years, pretty much continually, and she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. And when she came to me, the first thing I saw is that she breathed with the top of her shoulders, and those breathing muscles will put you into fight or flight, so her nervous system was always stressed. And then plus she didn't know how to move from the center of her body, so she was constantly, her lower back was constantly actually, because the adrenals and the kidneys actually are supported by the back muscles, those muscles were always going like that. And so it was causing the adrenals and the kidneys to become fatigued, and it was totally amazing. I did one session with her, and I freed her psoas and I freed her back muscles, and it was gone.
It changed her
life. Like it never came back.
That's great.
So, I mean, that was pretty amazing. I've helped people with TMJ and headaches, frozen shoulder. I had a woman come to me. She had a frozen shoulder. She couldn't reach her arm past here, and they told her she had to have surgery. And she was really upset because she was getting ready to go to Tahiti to be on her honeymoon, and she said, I can't even hug my honey. I can't swim. I can't do anything. And she was here, and by the end of our hour-and-a-half session, she was going like this, and she hadn't lifted her arm in years.
That's great.
But it was about releasing the fascia lines that were literally pulling her arm forward, so that every time she reached up, it's just that she wasn't aligned right. So I freed her breathing and her ribs, then her arm laid in the proper place, and then it was easy to lift her arm.
So then you give them exercises or a type of, do you give them a program to do on their own? Let's say they're here as a visitor, they're only going to get a session or 2 or 3 from you. And then do they go home with something? They do, okay. And I know you have a DVD and a book also that's coming out?
2 new DVDs.
Oh, 2 DVDs now.
One DVD that's coming out with my book called Yoga Line and Pain Free from the Core. And then another DVD called Surfers, Yoga, and Alignment. And this is specifically for surfers to help them, because surfing requires so much, lifting from here and moving the shoulders. And so much traditional yoga requires this kind of stuff, these kind of movements. This is not beneficial for surfers.
Right.
So I show them, a lot of it is what to do on your surfboard while you're waiting for waves, rather than sitting there going, so flat, man, being all rounded over. It's about, okay, use that time to get in your deep breathing muscles, to support from the center. And I've got some wonderful surfers in it, Alana Blanchard and the Valiers, and it's just fun. The amazing thing is, it's like, since our body is mostly water and space, what this work does is once you train the nervous system to move differently, you don't really have to do it that much. It's like when you know someone that has bad posture, every time you see them, they're like that, right? It's not like they're telling themselves, I'm going to get up today and do this.
Right, right.
So
the body just remembers that.
So what we do is we work on the nervous system patterning so that it can really change on a deep level.
Right.
And so you're not having to do it all the time.
But it does take practice to maintain what you've done, the work that you've done. Because I know for myself, I came to you, my daughter was in your class, and I came after I had injured my back, I think just on purpose for this class, and I couldn't bend over. My back hurt so much, and having you and Monique work on me was amazing. Amazing how my neck felt afterwards, amazing how I could do a back bend in one session, and I was flat on my back for 3 days. So, but I know for me that I had to continue to do it to be able to maintain the muscles that you changed, because they really wanted to go back. And so
it takes about a month for it to become what's called myogenic.
Right.
Like where it's just what you are, you know, because these patterns are deep.
Yes.
And, but it is, what it does is once you learn how to move with less effort, then the fascia lines that want to control your movement and put you in those positions, they'll reorganize from the inside out. So it's kind of like getting raw from the inside out.
Right, right.
Yeah. But it's
way less pain.
Yeah.
Rolfing is a wonderful technique, and this is much less invasive.
Rolfing works from the outside in.
Yeah.
And there's places when you breathe, you can't rolf the inner side of the rib cage, for instance. So using the breath to open the fascia it works better with the body. I'm not saying, I think rolfing's very good if it's in combination with exercises to retrain what your computer's telling your body to do.
Right, exactly.
Because a lot of times people will get rolfed and they'll feel great, and then 6 months later they're back.
Right.
Because they didn't change the codes.
Well, and that's the whole thing. You have to do, I call it life practice, because you're changing your life, and so you want to continue whatever it is that you're doing. It's not just a project, it's a life. Yeah. Well, it's a life change.
Yeah.
And with your work, you can really change your body.
You can.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And good luck with your classes. And I know you're teaching seminars and teaching people how to teach what you do.
I have a teacher training coming up.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
great. When is your teacher
April.
training?
Another teacher training for people that want to, first of all, get aligned and then train other people to do it.
And when is this?
April 6th to May 15th.
Oh, great. Well, good luck, and good luck with your book. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Aloha, namaste.
Aloha. We have with us Rita Harrison, and she is from Stuttgart, Germany. And Rita is here at the Expo, and she gave a speech today, a talk about the Willow system. And we're happy to have you with us, because you come a long way just to be here.
True.
Do you come very often?
Yes.
You do, and you come and teach and do sessions?
Yeah. Teaching and sessions, private sessions, and I want to give seminars for trainers.
Great.
So that they can learn this technique as well.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what your Willow system is? And that's what you do, your Willow system.
Yeah. Willow system is a holistic treatment and therapy for the mind, the body, and the spirit. And it uses a lot of techniques that have never been combined like this before, like solution-focused brief therapy, for example, family therapy, family constellation, as well as body work, hands-on work with kinesiology, and chakra work, meridian work as well.
So you're touching the person if that's necessary, doing energetic healing if it's necessary, doing type of psychotherapy, family therapy as well.
As it is needed. So what I always do first is I interview my patients to find out what they're here for, what they want to take with them, and then I make a cocktail of what is needed most.
So of the type of therapies.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you use kinesiology to validate what you're hearing or what the client is telling you what their issues are?
Yeah, and it depends. I use two types of kinesiology. The one is a very manual therapeutic one, that is the body treatment, and that means kinesiology I use there is when I test if a joint is in the center, then if not, the muscles are weakened. So I know what to do, what I have to treat for the body. That's a very typical test as we use it as manual therapists. And there's another kind of kinesiology, and there I test actually the subconscious mind.
So when you're using like muscle testing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do muscle testing, and then I can find out how the person himself or herself reacts on an issue. And then I know what to do. And it helps me to stay neutral. I have a hypothesis, for example, oh, I think we could look at this or that issue, but to be sure, I can use this kinesiological muscle test as well.
And that helps the client be aware of the clarity of your work and what you're doing as well, because then he knows what you're saying is true or not.
That's it, because they feel it in the body, they see how they react, if they react weak or if they are reacting strong, and that makes a difference.
Well, how about if we do some kinesiology just for a moment, because I know a lot of people have never experienced it, so why don't we do it with me?
Oh, I would like to do it.
Yeah, let's do just a couple of questions, perhaps.
What kind of kinesiology would you prefer, the psychological one or the kinesiology I use for the joints?
I think the psychological one would be, people could see it better.
Okay.
You know, just with my hand.
Okay, I would like to do that.
Okay.
So, do you have no, give me this one.
Okay.
Do you have a certain issue?
Let's see, probably. Let's see, what would my issue be? I think being able to be really clear, how to stay really clear in my communication about anger.
Okay, so what I usually do is I center myself. I take yoga techniques, I use them to center myself, and I usually do pre-tests to make sure that I'm very concentrated, very clear, and that I have a good alignment with you, you know. Okay, so I would test that at first. Am I 100% neutral and concentrated? Okay, and then I would have a look if I have all the accesses to your different parts of your body, mind, and soul. And that's usually the soul itself.
So let's explain what you're doing here
Okay.
to me.
What I do is that I'm using the O test that is from the Japanese American Omatu. And what I'm doing is I pull out your fingers and then you can react strong or you can react weak. It depends on if it is a no for you or a yes.
So a no would be weak and a yes would be strong?
Yeah, but I can change it. So when I'm not concentrated, I can change it that your no is strong,
right,
and vice versa. So at first you can say yes, and I try to pull it out, and you say no.
No.
So I know how you react.
Right.
I'm here. Say I'm here.
Oh, I'm here?
I'm not here.
I'm not here.
So we've got a feel.
It happens pretty fast.
We've got a feeling for each other. And after I've made my axis and my concentration, I ask if your system is 100% aware about what you were talking about your issue.
Okay.
And I test that as well.
And that's a yes.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's a strong one.
And I ask if your system is 100% aware of everything that held you back up till now.
Okay.
Because I have to make sure that your system is. Otherwise, we don't know what we get.
Right.